Welcome. Okay, so welcome to tea time. Can everyone hear me? If you can, nod or do the thumbs up. Perfect. So tonight I wanted to share with you the magic of chamomile and how we can actually activate the power of the herbs that we use when we're drinking tea. So I love tea. I love herbs. Like, I love herbs. I use herbs for everything. If someone cooks for me and they don't have herbs, like say I tell Brett, put on some veggies, and I come back and there's no herbs on the meat or on anything, I am like annoyed. So to me, I use herbs every single day. They're very magical. I believe in them. So welcome to tonight. We may have a few people that are going to jump in as well while we get started here, and that's okay. Brett is actually going to smudge me with some chamomile. Okay. Oh, that smells amazing. So first, let's get into a little bit of how herbs work. And one thing that is so important is, when we're using herbs for intention, whether it's for healing, whether we're putting them into a bath, whether it's so good to see everyone. I'm like, I just want to start sipping and chatting, whether we are using it as an incense. We can use herbs in so many different ways, but it is so important for us to activate the spirit of the herbs. And so a lot of people will try doing, magic, and they're creating stuff and throwing their herbs in there, but they're not getting the results that they want. And that maybe it's because they're not raising and creating the spirit of the herbs. So I believe everything has a spirit, like each blade of grass. Okay, to me, it's like, it has a spirit. Okay, everything has a spirit. But I also believe that we can create the power of spirit. And that's what I do. I create the power of spirit with whatever it is I'm manifesting. And when we come together during the full moon and we tap in and utilize and call forth the powers that are available to us on that night with its astrological energies, we are creating a spirit of the things that we want to release and call in. And when we open that circle after our ceremony, that spirit is unleashed into the universe. Like, we create that. And everything that we do is connected to spirit. Every thought that we have is connected to a consciousness, whether it's a lower consciousness or a higher consciousness. And so for me, it's important for me to manifest with the power of herbs, and I use it every single day. There isn't a thing that I put into my mouth that isn't magical. That is true. It all has a purpose and a meaning. So what I want to do tonight is I want to kind of teach you the power to teach you how to invoke the herbs that we're using, but also teach you about the power of chamomile. It's really good to see you. And yeah, we have a birthday girl here. So I see someone said happy birthday. That's awesome. I'm not the birthday girl. Mine was a few days ago. So first, let's go into a little bit about chamomile and the herbs that we're using, this herb that we're using. Okay. And so first thing is, take this, but use it for other herbs as well. Okay. but not the meaning of the chamomile, of course. So let's get to it. So, and if you have your tea, you can hold it. I hope you have your tea water and your candle. And if you have, actually grab your candles and hold on to the candle while you're learning about this. We're not going to light the candle yet until we do the ritual. Okay. So chamomile is something that they say originates in Egypt, in Europe in some areas, even in Asia, and we have it in North America. And you can actually grow chamomile, and it will grow every year. It comes back and it flourishes. And it actually says that it's known that if chamomile grows where you walk to your doorway, then the nature spirits, you have a good relationship to the nature spirits, and they are protecting you. So chamomile will grow. It's also known as earth, what is it? Earth apple. So those little green things. Our chamomile, my chamomile doesn't get the huge white, Roman chamomile type of flowers, but I get more of the mayweed type. So they have a bigger comb, but they're little white flowers. And if they grow at your doorstep, that means that you're actually protected and connected to the fairy spirits, to the elementals. So when we work with herbs, we want to work with them like they are a spirit. When we're using herbs in our spells, we're summoning that power and that spirit. We're just not using it as a vibration. We're activating it. Chamomile is a masculine herb, and it actually represents the sun. And that's one of the reasons why it's so nice to use for a protection spell, and as well as a tea. And is actually connected to Cernunnos, who is one of my favorite gods, a horned god, and Mercury. So when we are dealing with things that are difficult, we can connect to that energy. Ra, so fire, think fire gods and fire goddesses, okay? And the Earth Mother is really what comes forward when we use the flower of the chamomile. When we need to drink this medicine as a tea, chamomile tea, we're going to need it when we feel like we're puffy, okay? Like when we feel bloated. It's known as an anti-inflammatory, but it's used to calm anxiety. And that's one of the reasons why I like it. As soon as I get fixated on something that's negative or it's triggering me and putting me into my flight mode, I will use chamomile. Or if I feel like I get swelled up quite a bit, I have a lot of water retention, but it also helps get rid of stress. So I find that whenever I'm in some kind of battle mode, I will put chamomile tea on the table and drink it, because I know that first, I am acknowledging that I'm in this mode, and second, I can use it as a medicine to help reduce the negative feelings, as well as soothe me, really. And it connects us to a sacred energy. And that sacred energy actually opens us up to the energy of attracting certain energies. So when we drink chamomile tea, it opens us up, and it actually attracts us to our emotions. So if we find that we are reflecting, or sometimes we get into this place where we're, what is that word I'm looking for? We start to resent people. You should drink chamomile as a medicine. Chamomile also attracts happiness. So if we've been in a place where you haven't felt that joy and happiness, and we've just been in that daily life work mode or or that feeling of entrapment, it helps us open up. So it banishes negativity on all our levels, body, mind, and spirit, as well as brings us good dreams. And one of the reasons why it's one of the most sacred medicines to have for sleep is because it's known to induce guidance. So it will actually calm our mental mind and help bring our subconscious forward. Okay. It also is something that has been used for hundreds of years, thousands of years probably, to calm and center ourselves. I like to use chamomile tea to regenerate my spirit. You know, there's so many things that happen in our life and our daily life that sometimes we just need to feel like that regeneration of power. And so Native Americans would use it for that. It generates our spirit within. So drinking chamomile tea during the new moon is something that is an amazing new moon drink and tradition, because it heals you, it regenerates that spirit, it calms us, it centers us, but also purifies us and gets rid of negative energies. It also promotes peace and purification. So it's known as a purification drink, but it also promotes money. So a lot of times when I'm drinking my tea, I am also burning it as an incense, because I want to smell it and have it go into everyone that walks through my house, right? And I want to give it as an offering to the spirits that help me. It also is very good in breaking curses. So if you're sitting there dealing with something that feels like you can't get through that brick road, whether it's a person, a situation, or something you're dealing with, or you feel like someone's cursing you, or they got their focus on you, whatever it is that's breaking your peace, we can use chamomile tea to break it just by activating it and drinking it. Bathing in it is amazing too. And you know, some of you have the tea bags. You can pop a tea bag in the bath. You don't have to break it open, right? I'm used to drinking just the raw herbs. So I like to just put it into my cup raw and have it float around. I don't care if it's on my teeth or whatever. It's like, whatever, whoever I'm having tea with should let me know, right? But a bath of chamomile is something that will also purify us. So it's a really good healing bath to do during the new moon, or anytime you just feel like you need to purify yourself, right? Burning it as an incense will bring us into a meditative state. So that's why even burning it as an incense before we go to bed will help us sleep. And it's actually really good, not just for protection, but to induce self-love. And when we get into the mode in life where we are focusing too much on our life and all the stuff that's going on, we really have to break ourselves and put ourselves into that place where we are taking care of ourselves in some way. And spiritually, doing that activates it. And it's really good for beauty and getting rid of wrinkles. So making the tea and putting it in the fridge and then spraying it is really nice. And it's so nice. Wait until you feel what it does to your skin. Now, some people can have allergic reactions to chamomile. So if you're allergic to daisies or ragweed, do a little test before you start spraying it on your face, okay? So it's always good to have a little drop test on the skin. I have to say that. But we can also just place the dried chamomile flower in our wallet, or a little bit in a little sachet, a little bag into our purse. And it will also remove negative energies that may be directed to you. We can also use it to attract money that way. So having money, a little charging bowl, and putting out your money in there, and sprinkling some herbs after you activate them, and then using that is something that will help bring money back to you. But we can also sprinkle it around our house and sweep with it whenever we feel like things are too difficult or getting heavy. So when we use it as a ritual bath, we can actually do it before we go into readings. So say I have 4 readings in one day, that I like to have a chamomile bath because it actually helps induce visions. And it's very healing for the eyes. And that's one reason why if we get into a mode where it's like a negative mode and we all get into that mode because something gets in there, chamomile will break it for us. So we can use chamomile for curse remover, dreams, to induce sleep and meditation, for love and to attract love, for money, for prosperity and protection. All of those things. And when we drink it, we're putting that right into our system. So let's talk about activating our herbs. So grab your chamomile. And the reason why we activate the herbs, it's just like working with crystals. We need to activate them. First, we want to make sure, now see, I have a palm full here. I don't know if you can see it. Where's the camera? There you go. Do it with my mouth open, concentrating so much. But see, so when I drink tea, I don't put a ton in. And I have to share with you. I used to do tea classes where I would teach people how to make teas, and they would have to make different teas for different things. So we'd get together and then we'd be like, okay, we all made our psychic tea, and we would try each other's teas. And I have tasted the most disgusting things in my life, okay? And chamomile is one that I had about 20 years where I could not put it in my mouth because of one of the teas. But I love it now. So sometimes if you can't use it, don't. But, so here we go. So I want you to put your chamomile in your left hand, okay? And as you put it into your left hand, I want you to actually look at it as if we're creating a spirit with it. And that spirit has to do with purifying and cleansing us, but also bringing us good luck and prosperity. And as I'm talking, just listen and feel your herbs. Take note on whether you can actually feel a change happening into your hand. And then as I'm talking, I also want you to use your right hand and put it on top of it, about like that, somewhere where you can hold them close. And I always have them sitting in front of my heart. Now, chamomile triggers and heals the solar plexus. So you can actually have that sitting in front of the solar plexus if you want. I always hold mine in front of my heart chakra. And the reason why is because the heart chakra and all of the chakras above connect us to higher realm spirits. So higher vibration spirits. So we are empowering this herb so that we can activate the spirit of the plant. Okay. And I do this with everything that I use magically. It's like activating a crystal. So breathe and focus on feeling and connecting to your plant. And this is where you can actually think about some of the desires that you want, that you would like to attract, or the things you would like to be purified with. And if this was going to be an herb that we would grind in our mortar pestle, we would also be focusing on the things that we want. And I actually talk to my herbs as if I'm talking to a spirit, telling it why I'm using it in my incense or why I'm cooking with it, that I want it to affect me and every single person that it goes into. And I always say thank you. So we are building spirit. And as we build the spirit, you always want to focus on clockwise. Okay. So one thing that you want to do is think of it as how your hand is going warm or fuzzy. Okay. If you're starting to feel anything, then you are actually connecting to a plant spirit. Now, every plant has a spirit, but we also have plant familiars. Okay. And because we're working with an herb, we have a sacred spirit that is coming forward. And that's what this ritual is about. We're going to actually bring our plant spirit forward, ask for that power so that you can do this to any tea you want. Okay. So when you make a tea, I use very little, but about a teaspoon of chamomile is good for a full cup of tea, and infusing it for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, so let's charge it, and then we're going to put it into our cup, okay, and steep it. So let's find my prayer. Okay, so hold the teas and just take note as if you're raising a spirit. Okay. Earth, air, fire, and water. Chamomile, Earth's apple. Cernunnos, Mercury, ocean, and Ra. We call upon this chamomile spirit. I call upon my plant familiar spirit. And if I do not have one, I call upon one now. I charge this chamomile as a symbol of all herbs that I work with from now on. I call forth the guidance and knowledge of herbal magic and deep personal magic. I call out the visions of the guiding light. And I call upon my plant familiar to make sure that I am open to receive the magic that these plants can bring to me, so that the mysteries go into the service that I create for myself and others. Guiding spirits, God and Goddess of all creation, we call upon you, the gods and goddesses of the 3 realms around the earth tree. We ask you to hear us. Grant us entry into the realms of herbal mysticism. Let my body, mind, and spirit enter. I ask for your blessing and protection, and we seek wisdom. Let us find friends and guiding spirits of the bright light of the fairy realms and the nature spirits, among the winged presences and spirit guides. We seek to learn about the truth of magic and the power of our spells so that we can serve life. May we become wise and free upon the herbal path, so mote it be. And I want you to breathe into it 3 times. And then before you put it into your next cup, switch it, put it into your right hand, and it should feel like super light and free. And just take note on its presence in your hand. And this is where I will focus on what I want protection from. You can visualize it, you can say it to yourself, you can speak it into it, what you need clearing and help about, and you want to tell it, this is what I need help about. And you know, never be shamed. Never be ashamed of what you need. It doesn't matter how dark, how dirty, how bad the situation is. The universe has seen it all. And our problems are not as big as they seem. So you have to trust that we are opening ourselves up to receive the help of exactly what the situation is. We don't have to make it worse. We don't have to make it better. So focus on that. And then as soon as you have that, put your tea into your cup. And I usually watch it for a couple minutes because I like to see if the herbs go into a clockwise position. And if they go into a little bit of a clockwise, then it's generating power. If it goes counterclockwise, it's releasing power. I had one go counterclockwise. And if it just goes in and spreads, then it's actually the medicine is ready. Oh, I got fireworks behind me. You might see them. Okay, so you kind of want to pay attention. Now, if it's a tea, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so now we're going to hold both of our hands around our water and our teacup. And when I do it, I usually have the stem facing me, like the handle. And I make sure that I say thank you. And I say thank you 3 times. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, because this water, this magic is now going to become a part of you. It's not like we're just drinking it and it's going down our intestines. We're like, I don't know, 90% water, right? We're like a watermelon. So when we drink this, it actually becomes us. And it is something, I bless everything that goes into my mouth. And it doesn't matter if it's chocolate, it doesn't matter if it's my water, food, I always say thank you to it and acknowledge it because it is becoming a part of me. And when I do that, I know that I'm also protecting myself from the spirit of hunger. And, you know, a lot of times when we get into a place where we're starting to crave things or we're starting to overeat, that's the spirit of hunger trying to find us and feed. So a lot of times that situation is spiritual. And so if you do get into a place where you're craving unhealthy things, just like mental habits, grab yourself some chamomile tea. So now I'm going to stir it 3 times clockwise. Actually, I'm going to do it counterclockwise first. So counterclockwise 3 times. And then clockwise 3 times. And then I take it out and I just watch my tea or my water. And then I breathe into it 3 times. Now let's have a sip. Give to receive, receive to give. Now you can put honey in it. Honey is very magical. Oh my gosh, this is like the best tea I ever had. Now, the reason why I'm freaking about that is because I just was really worried I was going to hate the chamomile tea. I love it. You did good. So when we use herbs magically or as a medicine and we charge them, a lot of times the yuckiest tasting herb will almost be like no taste. And you're like, wow, that doesn't bother me at all. I barely taste it. Or it will taste sweet. Like for some reason, my chamomile tastes so sweet to me. It's amazing. Now you don't have to go into that chant every time you make a tea. So now we want to light this candle, okay? So before I light the candle, I'm going to anoint it with some tea, and I'm going downwards because I'm calling in that power. And we're going to light up our candle. And we had a sip of that tea. So now the candle is anointed. It's a part of us. I want to light it up. Mine's not lighting up. See, I had something trying to block. Look, my candle will not light up. Wow, now it is. So whenever candles don't light up properly, it means you needed to do it. There was a block. And that could have been an unknown block, right? I could have been sitting there living my life without knowing whatever that block was. So when I do, now I'll let my candle burn. Look how amazing it burns. So you want to make sure you see an aura around your candle flame. Let me see your candles, hold them up. If you have an aura, magic is happening. Yes, amazing. Wow, yours is pink and purple. So pink and purple, crown chakra, right? Yellow and orange, solar plexus, sacral. Those are, the candle will tell us by its color what portal of power the magic is coming through. And that's why you always want to look at the aura. Look how yellow mine is compared to how purple yours is. Isn't that crazy? I love it. So if there's an aura, candle magic is happening. And if you ever have trouble and you're looking at your candle and you're like, I don't know if I have an aura, walk up to a mirror. And if actually after this class, walk up to a mirror with the lights off and look at your candle, at how powerful it is in the mirror compared to what you're seeing. So if it's more powerful in the mirror, then you have a lot of magic in the spirit worlds. So if I do a money magic, I'll go look at my money magic candle in the mirror, and then I'll pay attention and I know spirit has accepted it. So mirrors are very magical. I have one on all, I would say every single one of my walls. Like people are always like, doesn't it creep you out? I'm like, no, I love them watching me. So that is magical. So you can snuff your candle out if you want, but I usually keep my candle going until my cup of tea is finished. If anyone has any questions or wants to comment on their tea, feel free to unmute or chat. Same with, you can actually use chamomile as a mouthwash or as a hair wash as well. As a hair wash, it's pretty amazing. If you're going to do a bath, you can put it in and let it steep. Or a lot of people used to boil it in a pot and then pour that into it.
The color of the aura allows you to determine which chakra is the one that you need to work with.
It lets you know which chakra the power is coming through.
Okay.
So when we work our magic, we tap in, and we're actually utilizing all of our psychic pathways, whether we're aware of it or not. But one of them is going to be more powerful. So when I look at the candle lets me know Okay, now the solar plexus, I have lots of yellow in it. So yes, I want to make sure that solar plexus is working properly, but I also want to understand how that solar plexus thinks. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So the solar plexus is where I would focus on that energy.
Okay.
So I would solar plexus, drink the chamomile. There's also, let me see if I can think of citrine. Carrying a citrine, you could add to that as well. And the solar plexus usually has to do with our confidence and our self-esteem. So whenever our solar, if you see the yellow, then it means that the universe, the spirits around you are trying to help you feel like you have control in your life.
Okay.
If it was a crown chakra and you see purple around your candle, then it means that you're actually connected to spirit and the universe. And that right now, this spell or whatever magic you're doing is actually a purposeful role that's happening in your life. It's part of your life's purpose.
Okay.
If you see, like, say you see indigo blue, that third eye color, then it actually means that your intuition is at play, and it's super important to pay attention to your imagination. You know, an imagination is one of the quickest things that will align us to our higher self or the spirits around us. So whenever we get into that place where we're bored or lethargic, do something creative and you'll get aligned to your higher self and spirits just like that. The throat chakra, if you see that beautiful turquoise blue, then it means that we are meant to verbally communicate. So sometimes, you know, if spirit wants you to teach something or to share something, right? Maybe you're meant to say something to someone and you can't get them out of your freaking mind because you know you want to tell them this, right? I mean, how often does that happen to us? When we our power and the manifestation may have to be communication, whether that's communicating to get what you want or more communication to the spirit and letting them and keep communicating that and holding that in power. If we see green around our candle, then it usually represents receiving, that this is love, this is desire, that there is, that the spirit is compassionate about what you want. They understand the spirit behind what you want. And if you see lots of yellow, I did the yellow. Say you see the orange around during this time of year, all the way into Samhain, we're going to get a lot of orange in our candle. And that's because there is a creative energy that's taking place while the world and the universe is going through transformation, but it has to do with how we relate to our emotions. So just paying attention to our emotions through the month of October will actually help attune us to our powers and natural gifts that are in place. And it means that your ancestors are forward. As soon as I see orange, I'm like, yes, I got my ancestors forward. I love it. And these ancestors that come forward with the orange, they're usually the cloaked ones, right? From like our pagan past, right? And if you see red in our candle, then it has to do with the situation, actually has to do with your security and your sense of security. And whenever I see red around my candle flames, I know that I need to connect to the outside daylight energy. So I'll go for a car ride or I'll spend time until I actually feel the sun. So that was a good question. Are you enjoying the tea?
Absolutely.
Tea is good for attracting wealth. So drink it, make it as a tea when you're, doing money magic, right? You can rub your candles in chamomile. And actually, if you did that and felt the energy of your candle, it would be so warm. So it does create a cozy energy.
I actually had to run to the store to get chamomile.
Oh no, you should have just told me.
Oh no, I ran to the store because Irving's got the single packets.
Nice.
So I grabbed one, but I have chamomile, lavender, and cinnamon, I think.
Beautiful.
Is the one that I have.
So that will relax you. Chamomile is also safe for children, and burning it as an incense acts as a sedative.
Thank you. You reminded me. If you don't have an incense, the essential oils will benefit as well.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. And so when we charge our herbs, it's scientific that we actually add vibration to it. And so charged herbs will last about 3 months. So if I decide that, okay, I am using this medicine and it's going to heal my blood situation because I'm diabetic, it's going to bring me the success that I want and keep me protected from stress, I will charge my crystals, a quartz crystal, and I will keep it in with the chamomile. And it will hold that energy for 3 months. And scientifically, after about 3 months, you would want to recharge your crystals or your herbs. Okay.
Mine are a lot older than that, so I have a lot of recharging to do.
Yeah, and you know what? Just recharge them with the crystal, with the herbs. Tell the herbs what you want. And again, you don't even have to do that. You can charge the herbs in your hand. You just want to make sure you feel that medicine. As soon as we feel something in our left hand, the spirit of the herbs said, yes, this will work as a medicine for you. I will give you that power. And as soon as you feel anything in your right hand, after you put your intention into it, that's the herb saying to you, I understand what you want. And it took on that power that you put into that plant. And so why just put a tea together? Why just take that tea and shove it in the cup like we're used to? Why not connect to the spirit of the herb and let it become a part of you? And as we drink that tea, it becomes a part of us. And as it's a part of us, it becomes the energy of everything we want becomes. Sometimes I will even just add a few dry pieces just for a garnish if I just want that energy. And I will charge just a little sprinkle in my hand. I'll rub it 3 times, right? Tell it what I need it to do. And then I will put it into, my husband's dinner if he needs to be a little happier. Or I'll do it to myself. We are the best guinea pigs for our magic, right? And once it works for us, it will work for other people because that herb gave you and granted you that knowledge. So I love herb magic. I hope you're enjoying it. And if you do have the herbs inside, make sure you look at your cup, right? Sometimes you'll get some symbols in there. And the closer to the rim, the closer it is to us.
Really? Okay.
So if you have lots of junk up top, then you've got lots of stuff happening.
So I feel like I should take my tea bag and pop it open to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, you definitely can. You can definitely, after you have a glass, put a little bit in there, swirl it up, turn your cup upside down, spin it 3 times clockwise, and then see what you get. So make sure you charge your herbs.
I would need to learn more about tea reading.
Yeah, we'll have to do one of those one day.
Yes,
Definitely. So we did do a ritual to connect you to your plant familiar spirits. So take note on what herbs you're drawn to, even with the type of food, right? Is it sweet? Is it sour? Is it spicy? What teas are you drawn to? Because once you do this ritual and you've done this prayer to invite your plant familiar in, you may find you have more of a connection to nature. So just kind of take note when you go outside, which tree around you made the rustle. You know, we can walk in the forest and you'll have maybe 1 or 2 trees rustle in front of you or behind you. That is a connection to your plant familiar, your plant spirit. So just kind of take note. Some of you are maybe already connected to growing herbs and having plants in your house. But look at the plants that you're using now as a spiritual energy, as a spirit, because they are. And they're there for us to not just use physically, but mentally and emotionally. Okay. So I'm going to post, I want to post something on our page. I think everyone here is a Sacred Circle member. So maybe what I'll do is I'll put together just a little chamomile thing, like just something that you can print out or just kind of keep so that you remember what it does to you physically. You know, if you feel anxiety, use that as your medicine. If you want to attract more love, right? Maybe it's like, you know, I need to get rid of negative stuff, or I need to regenerate. Use this as your medicine. Okay. And check your paths tomorrow. See if you have it growing in your yard anywhere.
No.
I'll post a picture of mine so you can see it.
Yeah.
It's more like a mayweed. It doesn't have the little white flowers right now. They look like green cone heads. But if you can find them, you can also use them fresh. So chamomile can be used fresh or dry. Okay. So with that, let's pull a card on what we're going to attract with our chamomile tea. You see my super attractor cards? Oh, I think they're on a kitchen table. Will you grab them for me? Yeah. Thanks. So when we connect, let me see. So when we connect to the plant energy, it's actually called plant circulation because it actually creates an entire cycle within the natural law of function to help you manifest what you want. And plant circulation and that vibration connects to us on a psychic level, right? And some of us, like once I started connecting to I used to have the worst green thumb. Oh my God, it was so embarrassing. And then one of my mentors said to me one time, well, it shouldn't be very difficult. All you have to do is make sure that the earth doesn't go too dry. And I was like, duh, it just has to be like outside. And then all of a sudden I was like, yeah, you know, plant queen, and started a whole business on plants and everything. But now it's like, if I'm dehydrated, if my mouth is dry, I know my plant's mouth is dry. So I kind of treat my plants like that. I'm a crazy plant lady. But it's true. When we use the power of herbs, there is actually something called the plant circulation, just like there is with humans and animals. They are a kingdom. of beings. If you can see a face in a tree, that is an omen that something good is coming your way.
Really?
Yeah. And you don't even have to be on mushrooms. So let's see what we get. What is message from the chamomile spirit? True manifestations are powered by service and love. Okay, that gave me goosebumps because when we did our connecting, we were asking to be of service for ourselves and others. And so to me, that is confirmation that you are now open to receive, and you can know how to enjoy a chamomile tea for the most benefiting way of you possible. So drink it with benefits. Use it. It is actually a therapeutic tea. It's known as that. So 1 teaspoon per cup. You can drink it cold. You can drink it hot. It's good if you get gas. So if your stomach, anything like bloating, and it is really good for PMS cramps. So next time you start to feel like PMS cramps or stiff in the lower back, try some chamomile tea. Okay. I'm going to let you go with that. So take care. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, let's do a closing prayer or chant. Okay, so are you ready? So grab your cup of tea if you still have some.
Get down.
And I want to leave with this. I am that I am. I love myself and I am worthy. I am deeply loved to my family, friends, and I am the love of the universe, the will of the God, the goddess, and the daily source of its energy. I am abundant. I do not want for any bad things, only good. I am a success in my life. I am very safe in my life. I walk with the universe consciously within me all times. I am healthy, mentally, spiritually, and physically. I assist in healing the earth with my light. I am balanced within all 4 of my bodies. I call my aura to be in the center of my being now. I invite my soul to join me and heal me. I ask that all past hurts are forgiven and released. I ask that all of my core fears are removed. I call in the belief of my highest dreams. I am that which I am, and I desire to be full of love and light at all times. So mote it be. So mote it be. And with that, we'll let you go.
Chamomile, cheers.
Cheers. Many blessings. And for those that have been on this, I will send you an audio so you can listen to it again. Okay. And happy tea drinking. Good night.
Good night.
Many blessings.
Good night, Brett.
Good night.
You hear him in the background.
He's on the other side of my table. It's like T with the screen in between.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.